I made the statement that Melania was very popular because when I mentioned her name, the audience went wild. I then looked at the two people, man and wife, Matt and Mercedes Schlapp, and I said, wow, they really like the First Lady. So this got taken as the fact that I thought Mercedes was the First Lady.
Yes, folks, that is real right there. That is a video that Donald Trump made of himself and posted voluntarily on his social media platform. And he's referring to this moment when he gave a speech at CPAC. Here, play this clip.
My wife, our great First Lady, she was a great for people. Loved her. Yeah, people love her. Oh, look at that. Wow. Mercedes, that's pretty good. Yeah, she's good.
You know, I gotta say, I mean, it seems that a hit dog will holler. Seems like they hit a sensitive spot right there. Here he is again in this bizarre video he's made of himself, and he's clearly cognitively impaired. He's clearly going through some things right now. I mean, this is someone who is very unwell. This is from the same video. Play the clip.
These people are really dishonest. They are absolutely something. They have a horrible candidate who's a horrible president. They make up things constantly. You take a look at when I use Barack Hussein Obama and I interject him into where it's supposed to be Biden, and I do it purposely for comedic reasons and for sarcasm, because a lot of people say that Obama's running the country, not Biden, because he's sleeping all the time. They say, oh, I don't know the name of the president. Or when I imitate this guy getting off a stage, what they do is they say, oh, he had trouble getting off a stage. I have no trouble.
And he's not done yet. He keeps on going on that video. And here he refers to President Biden. I don't even want to say the word. Here, play the clip.
Anybody that watches what I do at rallies would say, wow, that's amazing. He can go 2 hours without a teleprompter, not making even a little mistake. Very few people, maybe almost nobody, can do what I do. So here's the story. The disinformation of the Democrats is unbelievable. They do it because they have a horrible candidate. Don't associate me with the mental.
And yes, folks, there's more. Here, play this clip.
Democrats are at it again. They're constantly making up stories about me because their candidate is a mental and physical.
And so at these traveling fascist circus events that he calls rallies, he spends like the majority of his time right now when he's not praising the January 6th insurrectionists and calling them hostages. He talks about how he's not cognitively impaired, how he loves to ramble, how he's the best rambler there is, how he loves to interpose and interject and change names on purpose, that's part of his routine. Let me just give you some examples here, and then let's compare that to what President Biden is saying. So here's Donald Trump saying how he likes to interject and interpose. Here, play this clip.
I said, wow. Or when I interject a name, like I go, our president, Barack Hussein Obama. Rush Limbaugh, remember? He would always, right, Seb? Rush would go, Barack Hussein. You couldn't hear Barack or Obama, but the name Hussein, he'd be screaming. I don't know exactly what he meant by that. I think I do. But he'd go, Barack Hussein. So I'd go, Barack Hussein Obama, our president has done this. Now, I meant that because there are those people that say he's running our country because Joe is not strong on aptitude. So there are those. We don't know that that's true.
And just so you see, this is part of his like stump speech. Like this is what he does here. Just play another clip of him saying it. Play it.
But when I say that Obama is the president of our country, blah, 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 they go, he doesn't know that's Biden. He doesn't know. So it's very hard to be sarcastic. When I interpose, because I'm not a Nikki fan and I'm not a Pelosi fan, and when I purposely interpose names, they said he didn't know Pelosi from Nikki, from Tricky Nikki. He didn't know. I interpose, and they make a big deal out of it. I said, no, I think they both stink. They have something in common. They both stink. And remember this. When I make a statement like that about Nikki, that means she will never be running for vice presidents. You will never be running with me for vice president. Remember that.
And then he gives a speech like at CPAC and talks about how he's the best rambler that there is. He says he's a great rambler. Here, play this one.
They'll say, you rambled. Nobody can ramble like this. Nobody. If they did, they wouldn't even try. You know what? They go step by step, and they would never get off that sucker. They go step by step. But what happened?
And then he talks about how he's taken cognitive exams all the time, apparently. Here, play this clip.
And I've called for cognitive tests. I actually think anybody running for president should have tests. I think, and I pass them every time. Dr. Ronnie Jackson gave me the first one.
Yes, and then he goes on to how he'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks. Like, that's, again, part of his speech. Here, play the clip.
But if I'm sitting down and that boat's going down and I'm on top of a battery and the water starts flooding in, I'm getting concerned. But then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or shark. You know what I'm going to take? Electrocution. I will take electrocution every single time. Do we agree? I will take electrocution.
And can we just take a look at that? And then can we compare it to normalcy, please? Please, just normalcy. That's all I'm just looking for some normal behavior. Here's President Biden recently talking about NATO. Play this clip.
And I say to the House members, House Republicans, you got to decide. Are you going to stand up for freedom? Or are you going to side with terror and tyranny? You're going to stand with Ukraine, you're going to stand with Putin. Will we stand with America or with Trump? Republicans and Democrats in the Senate came together to send a message of unity to the world. It's time for the House Republicans to do the same thing, to pass this bill immediately, to stand for decency, stand for democracy, to stand up to a so-called leader hell-bent on weakening American security. And I mean it sincerely. History is watching. History is watching. In moments like this, we have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. The world is looking to us. There's nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. In this case, acting together includes acting with our NATO allies.
And here's another clip of President Biden. Here, play this clip.
And government funding, I'm sure you guys had all of that all taken care of, but all kidding aside, I think that it's Congress's responsibility from the government. We got to get about doing a shutdown would damage the economy significantly, and I think we all agree to that, and we need bipartisan solutions. So I want to hear from the group, and I want to hear from all of you here. So thank you all for coming. That's what we're going to be talking about. Thank you.
Mr. President.
You know, I know, folks, that Donald Trump is unable to even post a bond for the various judgments against him. I understand how desperate he is. I understand how unhinged he is. But you know, when I show you these videos like this, it is something that is it's so breathtakingly cognitively impaired. It's so jarring to watch that. And nobody should act like that's normal in any way. You know, and then he combines that, though, with here, like I showed you those clips of President Biden. Here's a video that that Trump's made, again, of himself attacking NATO. Here, play this clip.
At home, the State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us.
And finally, this is what President Biden said on the Late Late Show with Seth Meyer. Here, play this clip.
You got to take a look at the other guy. He's about as old as I am, but he can't remember his wife's name.
Yeah.
And number one. Number two, it's about how old your ideas are. Look, I mean, this is a guy who wants to take us back. He wants to take us back on Roe v. Wade. He wants to take us back on a whole range of issues that are 50, 60 years, they've been solid American positions.
Folks, just do me a favor on this one. Make sure you share this video, please. Just let people know that this is the person who's the leader of the Republican Party. This is who the Republican Party wants to give the nuclear codes to in Donald Trump. Show them this video and then tell me their reactions in the comments below. Thank you. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.